What's going on, good people? Brandmaster Martina, Britt, Yelverton here, your cash flow queen and founder of the #1 legal tax hack to hire your kids in your own home-based business. So should you choose to do so. So on today's Watch Me Work Wednesday, we are going to discuss how to use your ChatGPT to service your clients. I affectionately call her Susan, and we're getting ready to rock and roll so you guys can learn how to differentiate your ChatGPT. All right. Come on to the room. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city and state so that I can see where in these internet streets this Watch Me Work Wednesday is actually reaching. So on today's Watch Me Work Wednesday, we're going to help you guys who are utilizing this AI movement to your best advantage, as well as to your client's advantage. So if I'm not mistaken, in the follow-up of the sequence on last Wednesday, we discussed ways to make ChatGPT more organized for your specific needs. But today, now we're going to take that up to another level, and I'm going to show you guys how to literally use ChatGPT. And from here forth, I'm just going to call her Susan because that's what works for me to service your clients. So one of the #1 things that you have to do once you get yours set up, and if you didn't understand how to set it up, then go ahead and Google a Watch Me Work Wednesday. Let's see if I can figure out what I titled it so you'll know specifically what it is that you are looking for. Because we give so much content out on this platform, I want to make sure that you have what it is you need. So let's see if I can get to my correct tab here to show you that. And if I cannot, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and open this one up. Go over here to my YouTube channel, select my live playlist, and then I will scroll down. And let's see, I believe I titled that Watch Me Work Wednesday. Okay, that's the one for your Canva intros. And then the one, let me go over here because I believe it is the one that's coming up this week. That's why I don't see it in that area. Go to a different area here and let's go to my live and let's see where I have that listed at. So Watch Me Work Wednesday. That one's creating Canva. And yeah, how to reduce the hallucinations that happen. So inside of your ChatGPT, your specific Susan, there is a frequency that happens with hallucinations, and it tells you on the app itself to please reduce the hallucinations using this method. And that's just cleaning up your memory, setting up your templates, making sure that your specific Susan works for your specific niche. So what I'm going to do is bring up some of my notes here so that you guys can see literally in real time what it is that I'm doing inside of my Susan to make this happen. Okay, so here we go. Let's open up my version of it. Let's go ahead and pull Susan onto the screen here so you can see what you need to see. And for my hearing impaired audience, please understand that we try and broadcast this also over on Facebook and LinkedIn so that you can capture the captions that pop up across the bottom, the subtitles and everything, so you can follow along with this information so that you can learn too. My heart is with you. I have family members that are hearing impaired. I have friends that are hearing impaired, and want to make sure that you guys have the availability to glean on and learn from this as well. So again, what I have on the screen here is one of the prompts that I am setting up for the month of February and March. I am that far into making sure that I am answering your needs. Okay, so let's see if I can go down to the one where I made this request, and let's see if I can get that pulled up. And so let's stop it right there. And now let's go over to where I have the document open. So I make the request inside of Susan, and then I take the information out and I put it inside of my own Google Drive, a free option. If you're not using Google Docs, I don't know what in the world you're paying for Microsoft for. I pay for it as well, but most of my content lives inside this free platform because it is much more easy for myself and my students to actually share files. It just takes all of the extra bells and whistles that may not be necessary for areas of our platform out of the picture so we can focus on what we need to focus on. So generally what I do is I go inside Susan and I'll read the prompt specifically to you. And it says, Susan, if I wanted to start asking questions to help develop a bulleted, expanded, detailed marketing strategy, email campaign, and social media posts for one of my clients, what would be the best way to use you without confusing your responses for the client for the memory data you are collecting and delivering for my brand? And then, of course, I always suggest when Susan delivers the answer that you customize and personalize it so that it reflects and it has your brand voice amplified throughout it. Okay, so one of the sequences that I use inside of Susan is I make sure she, utilizes Monday through Friday, a basic typical work week, but that there are topics for each day, that the the titles and the description are enriched SEO titles or SEO-rich descriptions, right? That there is an email campaign that may be included. And sometimes I'll say no email campaign. I have a couple of them that I'm not running any type of email campaign for, that they have a full YouTube script, because that keeps me on point. Because you guys know, for the love of branding, I can get in here and I can talk all day about it. But to keep my videos very focused on the pain points and the solutions for my clients, I ask for it to give me a YouTube script, and then I go in and alter it to my brand voice. And most times I'll ask for it to include a follow-up email, right? But most important, I make sure that it has social media posts that accompany it, right? And I generate those graphics through Canva. Again, if you have no earthly idea about the power of Canva, you need Canva, because it will save you so much time. You do not have to be an advanced individual to utilize Canva. Canva has templates, a rabbit hole of templates, yes, but it has templates that I, as your brand master, would be able to set up for you and share with you. And then now you are empowered to actually make edits to those graphics. So that is why I tell a lot of people you need Canva. You can go to canva.martina@yelverton.com. Don't know if I had that in a lower thirds to run across the screen here, but it's not that difficult for me to go in and set up. So should I not have one? Let's see. Not coming across one here in my banner subtitles as of yet. So right now I'm just going to edit this one. I'm going to copy it all because I don't know why I would not, but for some reason I do not. And so let's see if I can get that banner, and I can edit it right here to say Canva. HTTPS. All right, and I'm going to add that banner across the bottom. So currently, if you do not have Canva, of course, my suggestion is that you go and grab a Canva account. And when you utilize my link, you get a credit, I get a credit. Hey, we both win. So if you are not a person who has a graphic prowess, be okay with going to Canva, sharing that file with me, and I can assist you as a brand client. Okay, so let's get back to where we are. Customize it to your brand voice. Go through the process of making sure that you get topics for each day with titles, description. If you need or do not need an email campaign, I suggest that she always give me a YouTube script, right? So that I can stay on topic. And then whether or not I have a follow-up email sequence. And then I utilize Canva to get the option that I need. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to drop that right here in this area too, to emphasize again the need to have that. Drop that right here onto the screen as well, so that I can see it and ensure that it gets emphasized here in this particular prompt. Boom, there you go. All right, so Once you do that, I ask for it to give me a time frame. And the reason I ask for it to give me a time frame is so that I can ensure that I'm speaking to the time frame, not to date the videos, but to give a point of reference from when the video came out and at the time that you may see Canva look like one thing, or you may see StreamYard look like one thing, or you may see our GHL tools look like one thing, and by the time you access the video, they look a little different. That gives you a point of reference from when the tool was created and shared with you to when we utilize it, okay? Also, it helps people when they're trying to find your videos. If they're able to say, hey, I know that video came out in February and it had something to do with chat, then they can actually go February chat, Martina, Britt, Yelverton, and it'll bring them to the time frame, the video that was created. Again, just helping it out. One thing I don't see on here that I do ask for that I'm going to add this time. So I'm going to make this one say and pull that one up. And I'm going to say, there we go. I don't know why it's doing it that way, giving me that extra space. Includes keywords, because all of my requests do come across in keywords, and I'm not sure why my screen is acting up like that. I despise when it breaks up my formatting like that. There we go. Okay, and that it includes keywords. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit further down why that's there. All right, and then, you know, the output format. How is Susan going to give me the responses? I always request that give it to me in a detailed per day, but that it also gives me a fully scripted, including the emails. I just reiterate everything that I set up here in the format output so that she knows what to give me. Okay, so now in answering the question, her response was, of course, it was full of personality, but the bulleted part of what she said is to work on client-specific marketing strategies, email campaigns, or social media posts while keeping your personal brand memory separate, you can use the following approach. So again, guys, before we get into that, I asked her, how do I use her to now help a client without confusing all of the memory and data that I have built about my brand? So I'm needing her to say, okay, Martina, here is your client's information in a detailed, targeted response that is full of SEO-rich titles, descriptions, keywords, an email campaign, a YouTube script, a follow-up email, as well as some social media posts details so that I can go and create the graphics for the client. And yes, ma'am, it will not include all of your brand information. So say that one of my clients, which is one that I will be running soon, one of my clients is in transportation. We're going to build that out live for you so that you can see it. But say one of my clients is in transportation and they have asked me for a marketing strategy, an email campaign, and social media post for their specific transportation brand. I will be able to now come in here and I will be able to say, first, we're going to start by defining the client context. So when I'm actually asking Susan to respond, I'm going to say, hey, Susan, this request is for IE client project. Please do not associate this content with my personal brand memory, because this will ensure that she treats her responses specifically for the client and it does not fall into my existing memory. Okay. Now, when I'm asking for these, I'm going to now specify using a distinct workflow. What is the distinct workflow? I'm going to share a summary of the client's business goals, audience, voice, and tone. Here's an example. My client is a fitness coach. We know my client's in the transportation industry. My client is a fitness coach targeting busy professional. Their tone is energetic and motivational. The goal is to attract leads for their 6-week online boot camp, right? Now, if you haven't spoken to your specific client to understand or ask detailed questions about why they need a marketing campaign, what is the campaign geared towards, when will it launch, any of these things to understand more about who they're targeting, what the timeline is. If you haven't figured out their tone or any of that, you're not going to be able to give these details to your assistant to get back what you need. However, If you take the opportunity to create this plan, now you know to go to that client and you can say to them, who are you targeting, right? What do you feel the tone is that you have that you want them to receive when they're seeing your content, right? This is the time frame. How long do we have to get this going, or how long are you going to run the challenge, right? Again, this provides some temporary context for the response that you're looking to get. I hope that makes sense, right? Now, break down your client's needs into clear tasks. Develop a 3-month email sequence for the launch of their online bootcamp. Create 10 social media captions promoting fitness tips for busy professionals. Write a bulleted marketing strategy to grow their YouTube channel. Get it? Now you then want to save and export the outputs, right? Once the response is complete, you can save and export the client-specific content, i.e. that means save it in your Google Drive, right? Because what you're going to do is you're going to go over to that Google Drive, you're going to make whatever edits that you need to make, and you're going to send them a PDF of that. You don't want them now editing everything that you sent to them, because now they're not following the blueprint that you and your assistant have determined for them. Now, when they go in and make all kind of changes to it and then come back to you, you didn't get any of the changes they made, and therefore you're operating from the PDF blueprint you have, even though they're out here doing something else. So that's why you don't want to send them anything immediately editable. You want them to start operating in the campaign that you have set up for them, right? So that you can stay the course of what it is you're developing for them. Okay, let's move on. Number 3, there is a Canva tool that's inside of the Google Chat. That's inside of your Susan, your assistant, inside of the ChatGPT. I myself utilize Canva directly, but there is a tool inside of ChatGPT that you can use for Canva. So let's talk about that. So for large and ongoing client projects, you can request to work in the Canva tool, right? I don't know why it's called Canvas, but I think it's Canva's tool. Create a text document to outline my client's marketing plan. This will keep the client-specific content and ensure that it's dedicated here without integrating it into yours, because again, you're saying my client's marketing plan, a keyword that you're using for that, right? In addition to that, when switching between your projects, you can add key phrases, keywords, right, to differentiate yourself and what it is that you are doing for the client. Again, to make sure that she knows, for this client, we're working on launching a campaign. For this client, we're working on their lead magnets. For this client, we're working on their social media post, okay? Now, you want to say again, for this client, we're working towards XYZ. Now you export that information, again, keeping it from integrating with your own brand information, all right? And then when you're finished, you can say, hey, returning to my brand master YouTube strategy, right? To get it back over to your information. Now, explicitly, yes, manage memory updates. So to make sure that the inputs that you're putting into the system don't mix with yours, you want to make sure that nothing from the conversation updates in your brand memory. You can say, do not store any details from this conversation into my memory, because this will now keep those responses tailored to theirs and yours to yours without any long-term association. Okay, so a recap of what we just discussed. The first thing you want to do is make sure you're introducing that the client's content is what you're requesting. You want to make sure that you use specific and detailed requests, ensuring you're saying for this project or for this client, or you have named the project. If you guys did not know, inside ChatGPT, you can actually name each project on the left. And now, like right now, if I wanted to go back and have an update to my YouTube growth strategy, I literally would click on this one. I would go to the bottom and say, hey, Susan, one more thing I need you to implement here in this YouTube growth strategy is, right? Or I'm available to go over here to the BrandYOU 90-day brand value strategy. And I'm going to say, hey, like I did previously, I'll show that to you in a moment. Over in my YouTube growth strategy project, you mentioned this, that, and a third. Do these two match up? Okay, so if you don't know how to do that, let's go up here and let's see where I did say that. So, well, previously I also asked or requested a plan to grow my YouTube channel and asked you to check in with me. How's that going to be integrated with the current strategy to deliver valuable branding content 4 days per week? And then she responded letting me know, hey, I seamlessly integrated your YouTube strategy with this current plan by doing this, and this is how the two strategies will work well together. Okay, so say you did go about one of the queries that you gave your ChatGPT and you found the response that she gave to be exactly a path that you may want to work on in your brand. You can say at that point, hey, here in this last response, Susan, this looks like something that could potentially work with my brand. What do you think about taking this client project and the name and mirroring that inside of my YouTube growth strategy that we're discussing inside of my memory? Does that make sense? And then you can see what her response is. Again, you don't want to confuse it. And if you want to keep it completely separate, you yourself can copy that part, hold it in your clipboard, and then go to that specific strategy and say, hey, in another project you were working on, this was your response. How does this, and then paste it, work with my current strategy here in this project? Because you remember, you copied it out of that project and you brought it to this project, and that's the only thing in your specific brand memory you want it to mix. Okay, I hope you understand this approach will ensure that your branding or that your personal project or that whatever you're doing for yourself can remain separate from your client's project. They will both remain distinct and individual of each other, but you can also ensure that you're utilizing something that works both for you and your branding, everything you're building with your assistant. But you may come upon a time where you want to help a client do a little bit more. And this is one of the ways you can use your assistant and put your assistant to work for you and for your client. I hope you understand that. I hope that resonates with you on today. I hope by you being able to see how I've been able to maneuver and put these things to work inside of my sequence where it could work for you inside of yours. So the first thing I want to ask you, and if you would comment below, do you currently use ChatGPT or your assistant, mine is called Susan, inside of your own brand and business development? And if so, could you now see where you could also utilize that to help your clients too? Hope this works well for you. You guys will take this and you will implement it, and you will respond below and letting me know how it will or will not impact your brand building. I hope to catch you guys on next week's Watch Me Work Wednesday. Take the opportunity to go back and have a look at what we've been sharing with you on Watch Me Work Wednesdays. But more important, get excited about what's coming in February. For the love of business and branding, we're going to have a 4-part series that talks about the difference between brand building for a business and the business itself. It's huge. It's going to be very impactful. Let me know below if you plan on watching it. I'll catch you guys on the replay. Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton here, reminding you about our new open office hours and our free BrandYOU community. Join us every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, Industry Dominator GHL, StreamYard, AI Tech, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident about your business and brand. And the best part is, after each and every live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask questions and get personalized answers. Do not miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to our YouTube channels. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company or as an entrepreneur struggling in your brand or business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each and every weekday. Cortez is the one and only followpreneur at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, founder of the PLR Profit Society, your brand master at 1 p.m., founder of the BrandYOU agency, and you can binge watch Bridget, our automations and AI specialist, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you know you need to do to get your assets in order, to learn, to lead, and to level up.